Is the edge of the green screen on the, is that going to be a problem?
No.
All right.
What are you guys going to put on the green screen?
Oh, not yet.
The logo?
Oh, not yet.
Giant cock, you know.
Yeah. No, but seriously, we're live right now. You guys are live?
Hi.
Put it on your head.
Hi guys. It's Carter again. We're doing another hangout right now with two more presenters who are badass as well. Everyone here is badass. I'm Carter. I'm the Google Plus Community Manager for Bill. With me is Renee.
Hi.
Renee is actually our Facebook Community Manager. She's going to be running this one, and I'll be back with you guys in about 10 minutes or so. So, guys, go ahead, introduce yourselves.
Hi, my name is JT Tran, and I am what you would call like the Asian hitcher dating coach. I was actually invited by my friend Kai, who also gave a really great speech on a completely different topic.
So I gave a talk on jury nullification, which is ultimately a strategy to help free a good half of America's 2.5 million prisoners, largest population on the planet.
Well, I gave a talk on, are you the Jeremy Lin of dating? I guess freeing your love life. So completely different topic, but I have to thank Kai for inviting me here. And here we have Ben. He's one of my coaches for our company, the ABCs of Attraction. How's it going, guys? And basically, I teach a lot of Asian guys in particular. I was actually on ABC Nightline on Friday, which is really cool. Like, we had this Asian female reporter follow us around New York and her students. And they just aired it on Friday, and they went out with us in the field where we were going up and talking to women and introducing ourselves and flirting. So that was pretty cool. I know some people are kind of skeptical. I said just go to ABC Nightline and look us up. It's like proof is in the pudding. They caught it on video. So.
Did you describe that experience in say one word? What was your findings or what it confirmed?
I mean, it was stressful doing that, having like all this entire camera crew following us around. But generally speaking, the biggest piece of advice I have for guys, or just any guy who's not classically good looking, is to, you want to break out of any kind of box that she might mentally put you in, because of stereotypes or whatever.
Differentiation is key.
Exactly. You got to be unique, charismatic. I always like to think of like I am going to be the most interesting Asian man she's ever talked to in her entire life. So, yeah.
So that was the thing we talked about, like role models and being able to have, like, up until now, what was the last Asian role model that women desire that were not in the black part of? And in fact, it was Bruce Lee, as most people think of, and he actually died the year I was born.
So, are you making a connection there?
Yes, I killed Bruce Lee.
Is there certain energy transfer that we should?
Oh God, no. That boy had like 8 packs down the wazoo. Not like that at all.
No, I mean, if you look at what's happening with Jeremy Lin, it is such a great example now because, when I'm teaching my students is we want a role model. We want to pattern ourselves after someone we find heroic or worthy. And up until now, there's nobody other than Bruce Lee. But we would use, just embody the cool James Bond. I love James Bond. Everybody loves James Bond. He's awesome. But for someone who does not look like Pierce Brosnan or Daniel Craig, there's a certain disconnect because I will never look like him. I am 5'5". This is as good as it gets, guys. I am never going to be like much better looking than this, and I'm not going to grow any taller. This is it. All right.
There are fixed variables, and there are areas of improvement.
Yeah,
I mean, what you're saying is that you have to sort of figure out how you can differentiate, how you can redefine, how you can take a space and own it.
Exactly. That's a really great way to put it. And so we use the example of Jeremy Lin because it's a great story, and everybody, even if you're Asian or not, relates to that because I think we all at some point in our life feel overlooked. We're like a good person, we try to do good. Well, we love our mom, we're not an asshat, and we're good people, but we feel sometimes that society overlooks us, that we're not given our shot. I think that's, we all have that experience. And, Jeremy Lin is that kind of Linda Rowell story of someone who's a good person, finally got a shot, and he's reaping what he deserves.
And there will be a point where he's just described for his attributes and his character, and hopefully certain adjectives just don't even become part of the conversation. It's just, this is an incredible person. I'm drawn to them. They have a skill set or a gift that I can connect with, and I find as attractive and approachable and something that I want to conversate around.
Exactly. I mean, like one of the reasons why he was held back is he doesn't look like the typical NBA player, right? I do not look like the typical guy that, you know, a white girl or a black girl would typically date. She doesn't think about that. So I have to do something different in order, you know, kind of break that heuristic thinking, that mental shortcuts, so that she starts to evaluate me as a potential, like, dating partner.
Do you think part of that process was for yourself to stop thinking in terms of what that audience is defined as and just really go, I'm not targeting this one demographic or I'm not targeting that, I'm just trying to be a better version of me?
It ends up being that. I mean, what we do is there has to be a certain amount of sizzle. Like the guys are like, oh, I want a lot of girls, and you know, I want these kind of results, get laid, blah blah blah. But through
Manage your expectations.
yeah. But through the process, we're like, haha, you know, they go through a program like, haha, look, we fooled you. Now you're a better man. You know, there has to be some sort of aspect where, especially as men, we tend to be like very result oriented.
Yeah.
But through getting the results, hopefully we become better men. As we say, if you want the woman of your dreams, become the man of your dreams first.
Amen. Now, because we are at Bill and we do have one of our Bill speakers, let's go into a little bit more about what you talked about and what your takeaways from the presentation were, that our audience can get a feel for your session.
I gave a talk about jury nullification, which was a totally different topic on the notion of, so this,
well, they've been mislabeled. I think there's a unifying theme of mislabeling and misunderstood.
Indeed. And I think the whole idea of this sort of invisible community, the other invisible community in America are those who, about 40% of American prisoners are basically serving time for nonviolent drug offenses, which end up clogging our courts and creating a gigantic community of disenfranchised people. And so we talked about the notion of jury nullification as a tool to help people realize that they can actually judge not only on whether or not a person is guilty of doing a thing, whether or not that law itself ought to be in place. For many, many years in the United States, it was illegal crime to harbor slaves. To help a slave go away from his master was considered a crime. And so if you were on the jury of someone accused of that, you might know the prosecutors, of course, will want you to say, well, look, all we want you to do is judge whether or not this guy, in fact, harbored that slave. And if you, as an individual, said, well, I don't think that slavery ought to be legal anyway, people felt trapped. People feel boxed and they feel like they can't vote their conscience. The point of their jury nullification is that they can indeed vote their conscience. And my talk was basically creating an invitation for folks to build a community, help validate that and communicate that to the average prospective juror.
So you were basically looking at the end results are for minorities in drug-related offenses significantly skewed greater than white males in the same age demographic. And so what you did was trace back to the root cause of where that goes awry. And you pinpointed that it's the jury selection, or the jury nullification process of the jury selection.
More to the point, I think that jury nullification is a way to end run that process. Unjust laws, right now at this point, laws are made by legislators, and legislators are at this point, there's an unholy alliance between both right-wing Republican types that want to lock up brown people and Democrat-leaning prison guard unions that also know that there are $70,000 to $100,000 a year jobs and dependent upon a large flow of prisoners. And how do you break that deadlock? It's a very, very attractive return on investment. You know, and problem is that they're invisible. And literally, the only people who are directly opposed to it are people who serve time who are not allowed to vote. How very convenient. And so the only way to end run that process is to appeal to the right jury, and that's what we're focused on. So it's really different. But I've also known JT for a long time. I want to make sure he gets also a chance to interact with the community, see and show. He was also a huge achievement because the NBC thing was reported, I think, quite some time ago, and it was only because of the rise of Jeremy Lin that this thing was kind of
the pieces now finally
they're all in place, and now
there.
it's like, we talked about this whole idea of kind of empowering other invisible communities. Engagement males is kind of an invisible community. You see every other ethnicity. Now you have people, white women, Asian women, whatever. Like Denzel Washington is sexy. Antonio Banderas. Every ethnicity is represented as being sexy except for Asian women.
They have a PR, marketing, and branding issue, and you
Yeah.
are working on that.
Trying.
So on that note, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up and say goodbye and let Carter sign us off officially because I'm not familiar with his laptop setup.
Guys,
He likes to eat.
No, seriously, I was about to pass out, so I got food. I will see you guys literally in another 3 minutes with a new speaker. Bye.
Bye.
Take care.